Hello, Scream Demons, and welcome to the Screams from the Basement podcast.
This is the scariest horror podcast on this side of the Black Lagoon. Screams from the Basement discusses the best double features the genre has to offer.
We also interview the industry's finest that make our screams become nightmares. I am one of your creepy co-hosts. I am Casey.
And I'm Sam the Damned, and let's get screamin'.
Let's get screaming here in the basement as we are not just the two of us. It's not just the two of us this time. We've conjured up a guest for this Conjuring double feature. We are joined by Gary Miceli, who is a voice actor and, as his Instagram bio says, a huge film and TV nerd, one of our own. Welcome to the show, Gary.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited. I love The Conjuring.
Yeah, absolutely. We're glad to have you on here to talk these movies. Gary, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do. What is Gary's origin story?
My origin story was when I grew up in elementary school, everyone was doing sports, and I was the weird fat kid in the corner watching movies. That's really what it was. I would go to the movies.
Yeah.
Me and my family, we wouldn't go to sports games. We'd go to the movies every Friday, and we'd see any movie that came out. Didn't matter how old I was. I was like 8 years old watching Scream 3 in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
And my mom would say it was just a movie. But I grew up loving watching movies. I got my Bachelor's of Fine Arts in movies and film and video, and then I got my master's degree in cinema. And I'm just enjoying every moment that I'm alive that I get to watch movies.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, today we're talking about The Conjuring 1 and 2 because the fourth Conjuring film, and it's like what, the 11th, something like that, in the entire series is going to be coming out soon. Conjuring the Last Rites, which is supposedly going to be the last film in the series. We'll see if that happens. I think they've said that since the second Conjuring. But let's go round table, and we'll start with Gary. What's your history with the Conjuring series as a whole, and how much did you know about the Warrens before these movies came out just over a decade ago?
I was there. No, I wasn't. Mine was like everyone else's. I watched in the movie theaters, and I was like, "This is truly fantastic." James Wan, as a director, has the instinctual nature in him to not just scare you, but to leave you with something so you're thinking about it over time. And for me, when I saw Conjuring, like that story really got me to think: Is this real? Is this not real? And then just some of the moments in that movie I remember. And then it came out. We all watched it a million times over, and then the second one came out, and the third one came out, and I've just been addicted to these movies. Like again, James Wan has this amazing idea and amazing nature in him to not just scare you, but to leave you with something after the film, and to make you think about the film afterwards.
Yeah.
Sam,
Agreed.
what about you? Well, we've never talked like in depth really about these. Besides, like I think the most we've ever talked about these are the Nun movies for some reason.
Yeah, because we did the Nun when the second one came out. No, I love these movies just in general. Like they're fun. They're good popcorn horror. Um, I remember watching this one for the first time like years after it had come out. It was like during the pandemic, and I was home by myself, and it was an afternoon, and I just always heard good things about these. I'm not a possession haunting movie kind of guy. Like that's never been something that I'm like super into. So I think I just kind of had these on the back burner, even though I love James Wan's work. Um, and I watched this at like 2 in the afternoon on a Saturday with bright lights and the windows open, and it still terrified me, and I had to sleep with the lights on. Um, and then immediately after, like I put on the second one because I was like, oh, that was great. So I double dosed both of these movies, and it was a mistake to do that while I was home for a weekend by myself. It was not. It was just terrifying.
Yeah.
But I love A lot of the spin-offs, actually. I really like the Nun movies. I think the third Annabelle is probably my favorite in this whole series. I think that one is it's just the epitome of a fun haunted house kind of movie. But yeah, I don't know. I really love this franchise. I love that we have like a cinematic universe of sorts in the horror realm. I think that's really neat. So, Casey, what about you?
Yeah, so I had obviously when the first Conjuring came out, it was a big deal. I think it came out in the summer of 2013, if I'm remembering right. So it was like a big deal and made a ton of money. I didn't watch this till it came out on to rent or Netflix or whatever. So probably like a year later. But I've seen all the other ones in theaters besides the one that came out during COVID. But I've seen literally every other film in this series in theaters. So I love this series. Speaking of the cinematic universe part of this, that's something I do want to talk about right here before we get into the movie. Because maybe this is a hot take. I don't know. I think this is the second best cinematic universe that we have going right now. Maybe it's not a hot take. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Because I do think, I mean, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the big one everybody talks about. That's the reason every studio wanted their own cinematic universe. I put the Conjuring universe as the second best in terms of quality, longevity, stories, connectivity, all of that stuff. Like, I would put that right up there with the Marvel universe at this point.
Yeah. I like I like the idea of connected universes more than I like usually the execution of them. Um, I do feel like at times cinematic universes have a hard time making movies and TV shows that stand on their own, and that can be a problem, and that's been a problem I feel like for Marvel post Endgame very much so. Um, The
That's where I would
Conjuring
argue all of these work
a little better because
as
they're
standalone movies. You don't really need to
yeah,
watch any
like
of them in
even
order.
stuff yeah, even stuff like The Nun 2, which is like a direct sequel to the first Nun. It catches you up to speed pretty quickly, and it's like if you hadn't seen the first Nun, you're not missing anything going into the second one. Same with any of these Conjuring movies. It's almost like a case of the week type of thing with the Warrens, where like, yeah, you might see a ghost that you've seen in another movie pop in and out, but it's not like, oh, I'm totally lost now because the nun showed up in a different movie. Um, so I think that this is, I'm just gonna say it, this might be the best one.
It might be, yeah.
And I wouldn't have said that pre Endgame, but I think post Endgame there have been some slip ups there, and yeah. But also, just shout out to the one movie cinematic universe that is the Dark Universe, taken from us way too soon. I wanted to see where that went. I was along for that ride.
Can we at this point like retroactively lump in Dracula Untold into that universe so at least there's two movies?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Sure,
Yeah,
why not?
Dracula Untold and the Cruise and the Tom Cruise Mummy.
Yeah.
That's the cinematic universe that died too soon. That's my hot take for this episode.
I'm gonna say this is the best cinematic universe, and I
Yeah.
say that because if I wanted to watch Endgame, it would make sense if I watched the others, right? Because then I
Mm-hmm.
would understand some of the references and what is going on. If you sit down and watch Conjuring 2, you don't need to watch Conjuring 1. Conjuring 2
Mm-hmm.
is just its own story. They establish the Warrens in the beginning, almost brand new, and you go through the entire 2 hour story. No sequel needed, no prequel. It's just one story, one movie, and that's what it is. Like Sam said, you don't need to watch The Nun 1 in order to see The Nun 2. You kind of have a feeling there's a nun. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. And the same with Annabelle is those are each individual stories. Number 3, you don't need to watch number 1 in order to understand number 3. Like going into
Yeah.
Annabelle, you kind of already understand there's an Annabelle doll.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
creepy haunted doll. Like what else do you
Yeah,
need to know?
yeah, yeah. What
Yeah.
else do you need? Yeah, but
Yeah.
like with something with Marvel, you kind of need to watch Iron Man 3 if you're gonna watch Iron Man 4, right? Or you need
Oh
to watch
yeah.
the Hulk 1 to watch the Hulk 2. Like, because it just goes together. It's like one big movie. It makes sense. But with The Conjuring, it's just one storyline, one 2 hour story. And that's another thing. They're not too short and they're not too long. They just give you the time frame of information, the 2 hour and 15 minute mark.
Oh yeah, that's something like we can definitely talk about with the second one especially being a little longer than a horror movie typically is, but like using that runtime fairly well, at least until the end. But we'll get into that. That's later in the podcast. Um, but yeah, no, I love that like especially the first one. The first one is a little over 2 hours, and yet it doesn't feel like it. It goes by at such a quick clip. And that's just I think that's Juan, like that's he just has a real finger on the pulse for stuff like timing and pacing and just keeping those scares coming and having the quiet moments in between, but like always moving on to the next scare or the next set piece or the next bit of information or lore. And I really like that. He's always introducing some new component that is going to pay off later. And that's why I think like these two are probably the strongest movies as a whole in this whole universe. I don't know if any of the spin-offs quite get to the level of this. Like I said, Annabelle Comes Home is probably my favorite, my personal favorite in this whole thing, but I don't necessarily get scared by it. Like that to me is more of a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Well, should we jump into it then? First Conjuring? All right. So Conjuring came out 2013, directed by James Wan. Previous work includes Saw, Dead Silence, Insidious, written by Chad and Carrie Hayes. The film stars Vera Farmiga as Lorraine Warren, Patrick Wilson as her husband Ed Warren, Lily Taylor as Carolyn Perron, and Ron Livingston as Roger Perron.
Yeah.
Sam, what the hell is The Conjuring all about?
Well, Casey, when a family ignores their very smart dog and moves into a clearly haunted as fuck farmhouse, it's up to the Christian Crusaders, Ed and Lorraine Warren, to save the mom from going all Benihana on her kids under the control of an ancient witch. The Conjuring.
That's what they should have called it, the Christian Crusaders.
The Christian Crusaders, right?
Yeah.
It's no longer the Conjuring universe. It's the Christian Crusaders.
Christian Crusaders. Yeah. This movie, we'll get into it, but like both of these movies especially, I know they were written by Gary Dauberman, who is very much like openly Christian and like openly, like has that. And there is a little bit of that like
He didn't write these first two.
Oh, he didn't write these first two?
No, did you not listen to my intro?
I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't listen to your intro at all.
It's the Hayes brothers that wrote these first two, and then Dauberman took over after that for like the spin-offs and stuff.
Okay, yeah. I just knew he had something to do with this Conjuring thing. My point being, which is now not based in fact anymore, sometimes these movies give a little bit of like faith-based film.
Yeah.
They're
like if a Pure Flix movie was like actually good and entertaining and well acted.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't mind that all the time. I think it gets a little heavy-handed in the second one, but like something like say The Nun, like where their faith is like their superpowers and she's suiting up in her like nun habit at the end of the epic like Avengers Assemble kind of music. Yeah. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
She's like getting her crucifix out in slow-mo and putting it in her pocket.
Yeah.
Right. I think that was one of James Wan's strongest points in the movie, where you know these Ed and Lorraine are Christian. He doesn't force you to believe. He just shows you that this is what they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Even with the villain, Bathsheba, at the end, it's not like... It's like, no matter what religion, what part of the world you're in, no matter what your beliefs are, that was an evil person who killed their child and sacrificed them and is now back to kill these children. It doesn't matter. Like, it just... Evil is evil. And I think that's kind of one of the universal things of especially this first movie, is evil no matter what you believe. And it just so happens, like Sam said, the Warrens' superpower is their faith.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, comparing it to the Marvel Universe, it's a fun idea to build around. And I think the strongest thing in all of these movies, and we can start with the Warrens, is them. Patrick and Vera are dynamite in these roles and really add a humanity and likability to both Ed and Lorraine, like as singular characters, but they're really like their relationship with each other is the driving force of the main Conjuring movies. I think they're incredible. We can talk a little bit about the real life Ed and Lorraine as well, and I don't know, the controversies, I guess, with the real life versions, but the movie versions themselves they're incredible characters and brought fully to life by these two.
Yeah, and what's amazing is that when you're watching The Conjuring, it's like almost a half horror movie and a half love story between these two people. And James Wan did such a great job at balancing, okay, where can I put their relationship and then where can I put the scares?
It's like there's a push and pull. Like there's Ed being worried for the in this first one. It's a lot of Ed being worried for Lorraine because things have happened that have really like deeply shaken her, and she's going into this new place, and like she's seeing dead bodies hanging from trees and things like that, and it's affecting her to this point where like Patrick Wilson is like, should we even be here? Should we even be doing this? And I've always thought that was a really interesting dynamic and a really interesting angle that then they flip, and I'm not sure if they flip it quite as successfully in the two, but that component is still there. It's just this time it is Lorraine worrying about Ed because of the visions that she's been having. And I just that's why maybe there should have only been two Conjuring movies, because I also feel like then again they did that.
Yeah.
Like Lorraine is worried about Ed in the third one, and it kind of like starts to get like, okay, let's just watch them on equal playing ground, just like, I don't know, fighting off a demonic possession type of thing. And that's kind of what I hope this fourth one is less of one worried about the other for some reason, and just both of them being like, we got to get this done, Does that make sense?
And I think that's one of the strongest things about this first movie is that relationship, but also we're not given like an origin story of the Warrens. We're not shown like, this is Ed Warren as a kid, and this is when he first saw a ghost. He talks about it in the movie about that. I mean, both of the characters kind of had those moments where they're like talking about their faith and a little bit about like how they got into demon hunting in a way. But it's not like we're shown a flashback to childhood Ed Warren stuck in a house by himself seeing a ghost. Like that would be so cheesy.
Which is great. Yeah, it's organic. You're dropped in the middle of them investigating, like the
and they've been doing this a while. Like they're at a point where they're like, we might have to be done with this.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Bringing it back to like the Marvel and the superhero stuff. I love that they did that with the new Spider-Man trilogy. We didn't have to see Spider-Man's origin. I love that they did it with this new Superman movie that James Gunn just put out. We don't need to see Superman's origin again. Like, the Warrens aren't even cinematic characters, but we don't need their origin story. Like, more movies need to know this. You can put us in the middle of a character's trajectory and it still have a satisfying arc and payoff.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this movie does perfectly, because they're investigating the Annabelle doll, which I'm just gonna say, this is the creepiest the Annabelle doll is in any of these movies. This opening sequence with her haunting these two girls in the apartment is horrifying, and appropriately just sets a tone, and also sets up Ed and Lorraine as these very knowledgeable, like, not no nonsense, but they know what they need to do and they do it, and they don't mince words. They tell you exactly what's going on. and what you need to do to get this demon out of your house and to keep the demons away as well.
There's a beautiful piece of dialogue. I think it's in the first movie that Ed says that he says something like, "Every time we go to one of these houses, it takes a little bit out of her, Lorraine. Takes a little piece of her every time." And just in that line of dialogue, it establishes their origin story. Okay, they've been doing this a while. He doesn't know if he wants to do it anymore. We don't know if this is going to be the last one. It's the entire origin story in just one piece of dialogue. And that's all you need to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I want to talk about this cold open a little bit because, like you said, Sam, that this is the best use of Annabelle. I 100% agree. Like that's where you keep Annabelle, is in these short little spurts.
Yeah.
Which we do get like in the following like Conjuring sequels, or it's just like little spurts of Annabelle. I think that's when that works the best. I even think in Annabelle Comes Home, because there's so many other things in that house with them, where Annabelle is like just used in spurts in her own movie. That's why I think that one works so well.
Exactly. Yep.
I want to talk about the look of Annabelle, because that's like the big change of the doll from real life to universe. Because in real life, it's just a Raggedy Ann doll that's possessed. Right. Apparently owned by comedian Matt Rife now, I guess.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, that's so weird. Like Zach Baggins, you couldn't.
Yeah, why would you want it?
I would want it. Hell yeah,
why?
I want that.
What are you gonna do with it?
I want to know why Zach Baggins didn't bring out the checkbook for that. Like, how did he let some comedian sneak in underneath him to get that doll?
I don't know, but I mean, maybe he just knew better and he knew he didn't want that in his house.
It's true. That doll's been on tour with this new movie, and weird shit's been happening.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, personal question, Casey, are you good getting my Annabelle butt popcorn bucket?
Yeah, I'll get the Annabelle popcorn bucket where you eat the popcorn out of her butt.
I need that one.
It pays for itself.
Annabelle's big booty.
Yeah, it pays for itself, exactly.
Yeah.
In one use, it pays for itself.
Yep. Yeah. Do you guys like the look of Annabelle?
I do. I think it's
she is just a creepy doll. They make her a creepy doll. That's the whole point of her in this.
But she's like a distinctive creepy doll.
Yeah, they have to Hollywoodize it. They have to make it frightening and scary. Which brings me to the question I want to ask you both. Obviously, in The Conjuring 1, 2, and 3, whatever, these stories apparently are based on truth, are based on Lorraine and Ed's real-life experiences. Do you believe them?
Oh, that's a tough question, and I don't think it's
I'm not saying
simple
that
as yes or no.
Everything happened. I'm saying that something like this happened.
I believe in negative energies, and I believe in that kind of thing affecting people moving forward, and places having like dark history, more than I believe in stuff like outright demonic possession, if that makes sense. Like I'm not a skeptic, because I mean, Casey and I have talked on this podcast a few times about our real life ghost experiences, and like I've had ghost experiences, or at least like kind of what I perceive as a ghost experience. So I don't write all of that off. I also think that, I mean, like you said, they're Hollywoodizing this a little bit. Like it is ramped up to 11 in order to appease the masses.
In order to scare the audience, right?
Right, exactly. And I think like if you put just a normal Raggedy Ann doll, I read that they didn't put the Raggedy Ann doll in because like they would have had to pay copyright to whoever owns the rights to the likeness of the doll. And I'm like, even if that doll had been available to use, a normal Raggedy Ann doll is not all that scary. You know what I mean? Like everybody has seen that in a different context. This Annabelle doll that they created, this is the only context we've ever seen that doll in. So like you see that doll and your instant response isn't, oh, I know that from, old-timey toy stores or whatever. It is like, oh my God, that's the terrifying doll from the Conjuring movies,
And plus, if you have the
Yeah,
two pictures of the real Annabelle doll and the fake Annabelle doll from the movie side by side, what sells more money at the box office? Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And what one can you mass replicate and make popcorn buckets where people eat out of her butt?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
They're Annabelle.
And
So,
copyright and
in the,
copyright the likeness.
Yeah.
exactly. In the case of the real life Warrens, for me, I don't think it's black and white.
Mhm.
From because I've looked up like both of these stories before, like the real life cases, from the Perrin family and then the Enfield poltergeist that we'll talk about in the second one. I tend to believe the first movie more than the second one. There's plenty of evidence against the Enfield poltergeist. Even so much of Ed saying, "Hey, we can make a lot of money off this," which I do think was part of what they did was, "Hey, we can make money off this." But I also think there had to be some truth to what was happening. Like
Yeah.
percentage wise, I don't know. I wasn't
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I do believe some of it actually happened, and then I do think that they also found a way to make money off it and profit off it. You look at someone like Zach Baggins now, who is kind of like our modern. He's the modern Warren.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, he is. I like
Yeah,
Zach
he is.
Baggins. Like I
No,
don't.
I do too.
He
He's
gets a
fine.
bad rep.
I
Um,
just
but he's doing the exact same thing. Like
yeah.
I think things have happened to him in real life, but also how can I make money off this and make this my career? And that's
Yeah.
what he obviously does nowadays. And much like the Warrens, he has his own museum. Like he has all these artifacts. Probably some of their artifacts are in his possession now. So I don't know. I think there's a gray area where whether it's the Warrens or Zach Baggins, where all this stuff lies. It lies in that gray area between this stuff is
Complete
happening for real
truth and
versus
complete
we've manufactured
fabrication.
some of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What about
You
you,
know,
Gary? Do you believe this stuff?
if you watch Lorraine speak about some of the cases, she sounds extremely convincing. And
Mm-hmm.
when you watch it, it's like, oh, in this video, she's 86. Why would she be lying at this point? Like,
Mm-hmm.
her husband is not here anymore. She has all the money to retire. She's been retired, I'm sure, for 20 years. So, is there truth to it? I'm sure there is truth to it. Is it everything in the movie? Probably not, but
Yeah.
again, the movie is over here. I would say the movie is over here, and their story might be over here, but there could be some middle ground as to what really
Yeah.
happened. Um, I mean, could they have, juiced up the books a little bit when they were trying to sell books? I'm sure they could have. Um,
Oh yeah. I have a question. Have either of you read the Amityville horror book? The like actual book that the movie was based on and all that?
I have not, no.
no.
Okay. So I read that way back in the day, like that was probably my introduction to the Warrens, and they're not mentioned like a ton in that book, if at all. I can't
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
remember.
I
But
think they
like I
visited
remember
once.
reading that. Yeah, they visited once, and it was kind of after the big media storm.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they came in after like the house kind of went famous. Um, I think that that book is incredibly compelling, and I think that there's a lot of like there's got to be a lot of truth to that, at least from the family's perspective. And I know that there's been a lot said about the Lutz family like capitalizing on the situation, but I did get the vibe reading that book that this was something that at least the people involved believed was happening on some level, you know? Now, whether or not that aligns with like what people personally believe, I think that from their perspective, like this is what was happening. Like their house was haunted by these gruesome murders that had happened earlier before. And that's kind of what I mean by I believe in energies being left behind by things. And so yeah, I think that Hollywood is always going to dial things up in order to appease audiences and to sell
Sell
tickets
tickets to
and put
scare
butts in
you.
seats.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
And
that's
you
obviously
know, I
that's
don't.
what we want to see. I mean,
Right.
We don't want to watch a 2 hour movie about, a bottle of water just flying across the room once. Like,
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's like,
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
then
it's like,
so like the biggest change from the real life story is the third act.
yeah.
Like Ed does not perform an exorcism on Carolyn. Like he doesn't do any of that. They're there like I think because there was two consultants from the actual case. Like Lorraine was still alive at this point,
Hmm.
and she kind of consulted with the writers and James Wan. And then Andrea Perrin, who I think is the oldest daughter, was also like, and I've heard interviews with her, and she said for the most part this is pretty accurate. Like the time, like the clocks would always stop at 3:07. We would hear things throughout the house. Um, like the girls would want to sleep in one room because they were too scared. So like kind of some of the basic stuff, like the clapping game was added by
yeah.
the writers and James Wan. Like
But
that
that's a
was
brilliant move because both of
terrifying.
those
Yeah,
set pieces are
When you see
amazing.
those
Yeah.
hands come out of the.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll get into these. I want to get into these scares after this. But as far as like the entire movie, I think for the most part, it's pretty accurate to what the actual story is until the third act of the movie. And I think that's one of the great things about James Wan as a director, especially in this first movie. Like he fully engrosses the audience into this story and the time era. Like
Oh
this
yeah.
feels like a 70s movie.
It
From
And
the
not
does.
just
camera
him.
work.
He gets you to care about the family.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He gets you to
Yeah.
care about the Warrens.
It feels real and it feels lived in. Like for all of the haunting and stuff, like this one, the first one in particular feels especially grounded. And so when you get into that third act where yes, you've got like witch makeup coming getting on the face and like people are levitating and things are flying around and you buy into it because everything prior to it has been so steeped in realism. And
Yeah.
that is like this movie's like aside from Patrick and Vera, that's this movie's biggest strength. For sure.
Yeah, that opening oneer like through the house
Through
when
the
the parent
house.
when the parents first move into the farmhouse, incredible stuff. Like incredible camera work. Also shows off like the house because the house itself is such a character because
Hmm.
there's so many weird things about this house, like the boarded up basement. You have how the upstairs is laid out, especially when they play the clapping game. You have like the weird like ways you can crawl like
Throughout the
behind the
house.
walls and like yeah end up in the base. Like it's so weird how this house is laid out. But that opening shot sets all that up. I love when movies do that, especially spending time on, because of how like a haunted house is a character. Like it spends like this first portion of us meeting the family on specifically the house more so than them as characters. We understand they're a family, but it's all right, here's the layout of this house that we're going to be spending pretty much the entire runtime in.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I feel like so much modern horror misses out on is like, you see some horror movies with cool oneers, but it's like what purpose are they there for? This is setting up the space. You know every corner and every turn in this house. You know where everything is. It's very similar to how Wes Craven sets up like
Yeah.
Sydney's
Yeah.
bedroom in Scream or Drew Barrymore's house in that cold open. Like if you as a filmmaker are showcasing the geography of the space you are going to be setting this movie in, your scares are that much more effective because the audience always knows where they're at. And that's so important. And that's something that so many filmmakers, especially these days, miss. Um, and it's hard. It's hard to do that, especially if you're working on a low budget. Both Scream and this one had decent budgets, and that's something that you kind of have to take into account too. But I don't know. I think the way Juan sets up space in this movie is masterful.
Yeah. The way one, as you were saying, sets up space where if you look on the outside, the house looks gigantic, but Juan has a way of making each individual room look so small. And
Oh yeah.
as you know, with horror movies nowadays, the family moves into the house and you have to wait like 20 minutes or half an hour before you get the first scare. You get something immediately as soon as you go into the house. He sets it up. He's like, this house is haunted. That's it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, the
And
dog
then
won't even go in.
then he doesn't let up. Like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is one of the this is one of the scariest movies of all time, in my opinion. I cannot think of another movie that gets an R rating just because it is so goddamn scary. It's
Right.
the only reason this movie has an R rating, because there's no swearing, there's no nudity, there's hardly any violence in this. At least
There's
violence that they
barely
really
blood.
show.
Yeah.
Barely
yeah,
blood. Any blood you see, it's covered with a bed sheet.
Yep.
Yet the
It's-
MPAA was like, you can't cut any of this. This is just too scary. Like,
Yeah.
what? That's insane.
Yep. Agreed. Yeah. And this movie does, like, it's because of that craft that it's so scary. Like in a lesser filmmaker's hands, like this isn't much. This is a generic haunted house movie. Wan takes it and elevates it just through his framing, through the performances that he draws out of these actors. Like we talked about Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson, but like Ron Livingston and Lily Taylor in this movie are so good. Like I am just a fan of Ron Livingston. Every time he pops up in something, I'm like, oh, thank God Ron Livingston's here. Like he's fantastic. Um and he is the epitome of a 70s dad. Like I know the hair and the costuming do a lot of that, but like the way he carries himself, I'm like, God, he is just of this time period. And same with Lily Taylor. Like you believe them as a couple too. Like
Yeah.
it's just they have incredible chemistry. Um, the kids are a little less developed, but I don't think they need to be any more developed than they are, because I think this is a movie about adults for adults. Like I think this is way more interested in how these parents are handling, like trying to raise their family in this haunted house, and kind of the same with the Warrens, where they're worried about Judy even back at their home. Like I don't know, I really love the adult performances in this movie.
Yeah, I think
There
that,
is one child performance, especially in this. It's Joey King, when you have the scene where it's she shares a
Oh.
bedroom with one of her sisters, and she's talking
The-
like she's like whispering, like there's someone right behind you.
Yeah, and like the tear starts coming
Yeah.
down. Like yeah.
And it's like,
That-
oh, and you don't see anything at that point.
yeah, yeah.
She says there's something behind the door behind you, and it's like what? Like what's back there? And you don't get to see it. You get to see it later on when it's on top of the goddamn freaking dresser and jumps down on them. But at
Oh,
that
God.
point, you don't get to see it. There's so many good scares in this that Juan, like, the clapping game is obviously the most iconic, and he does such a great job of setting that up, because there's 3 times we get to see that in this movie. It's the first time where the girls are just playing it, so we understand the game. There's the second time where the mom is playing it with the youngest daughter,
Yeah, the youngest.
and then you
Yep.
see the hands come out of the dresser.
cabinet.
Yeah. And then the third time is in the basement when she gets locked in there, and they just like come out of the shadows and blow out her candle. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
what is happening?
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah. Everything in the hide and clap. I also always forget that this is the one with the music box. Like, because the music box is such an iconic piece of memorabilia, I guess, in this franchise. And I always, for some reason, think it's in the second one, but it's this first one where if you look in the mirror of the music box, you see the spirit. And I think the way that's set up and paid off is tremendous. Because you get Lily Taylor being shown the music box by the youngest daughter right before the hide and clap game. And it's a fake out. The daughter scares her, jumps out from behind the curtain and scares her. And you think, oh, okay, haha, like the daughter was playing a joke. And then Vera Farmiga later is down in the basement and she finds it, and it is not a joke. Like that, and that scene always stuck with me as like, oh my God, that's such a great setup payoff, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people give give crap to horror movies about like the fake out jump scares, you know, like the cat jumping out of the cupboard type
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
scare. Juan uses those. Like he's not against that. He'll
yeah.
use it, and then he's going to scare the hell out of you next time he does it for real.
Yep.
It's
That's the
brilliant.
thing. It's fake jump scares are okay when they are deployed with purpose, and James Wan deploys them with
Yeah.
purpose. Yeah, 100% agree. We
Yeah,
should really
James
cover Dead
Wan.
Silence on this podcast.
I was just going to mention that if you watch Dead Silence, the before and after of the theater, you know,
Yeah,
as soon as, the performance is going on, then after when the guy goes in and sees everything rackety, James Wan is so good at mastering scenery.
mhm,
Just he
yep,
makes everything the character besides the characters. He makes the
Yeah.
house the character. He makes the theater a character.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He just no part of the movie is not thought through with him.
Yeah.
Like it's always very much like this is here for a reason, whether it's a setting, a person, a scare, like you know that that's there to enhance the whole. Like it's incredible. Yeah.
There's one
Was
last note I have to talk about, and I'll throw it to you guys as well if you have any other final thoughts. And it's to talk about Bathsheba as the main I guess the main villain, the main antagonist of the movie. And a little bit about Bathsheba. She was, accused of witchcraft, killed her child, sacrificed her child to the devil, and now basically cursed this land that her house was once on. And that's the spirit that haunts this land. Bathsheba, and that story is a real story. She did not get hung outside of the house, though, like the movie portrays. She just died of natural causes years later. And Andrea Perrin, who was one of the consultants on the movie, said now looking at it and looking at the history of the house, because they were like the 10th different family to live in this house. She doesn't believe it was Bathsheba in the real life case. She believes it was
really?
one of those other ghosts. Yeah. So, but I think
Interesting.
that character works perfect because we have two moms as our leads. We have parents as our leads, and it's about
Yep.
them protecting their children
Yeah.
against someone who
100%.
is out to get their children.
Yeah. Okay, so bouncing off of that, the idea that like Bathsheba did not actually hang herself, but we go to multiple visuals of like the hanging body in the tree, the iconic shot where Patrick Wilson is asking Lorraine if she's okay, and there are feet in the background right behind him. Bone chilling.
Yeah.
Sinister came out the year before this. Do you think that was a conscious, and I'm not saying like rip off or anything, do you think that was a conscious like, oh, that was really an image that struck America, let's do our own version of that? Or do you think it was pure coincidence?
I think Insidious more than The Conjuring had an influence on that jump scare. It's the same jump scare as when
that's true.
when the
I forgot about
red-faced
that.
demon is behind Patrick Wilson. It's the same one because there's zero setup. It's just we cut to that shot and there's something that wasn't there before. There's zero setup to those happening. So I think it's a Wan.
It's more of a Wan
trope.
thing. Yeah,
than
I get
anything.
that. I could totally see that. One scare I want to bring up before we kind of wrap up the conversation is the sheet. I have always thought that was just a cool ass special effect. I have no idea if it's CG or how they did it. Like I would love to learn how they did it, but like where Vera Farmiga is like taking the laundry down and she unclips the sheet and it blows and like stops and there's the shape of a body for a split second and then it keeps blowing and like hits the window and then when it slides away she sees Bathsheba up in the window. Like, oh, I love that scare, and it just blows my mind every time. It's so good.
What's great is you've never seen something like that before.
No, that is a very fresh original scare.
A very specific James Wan thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did they mention Amityville in this one or the second one?
That's the second one, yeah. The cold open of 2 is the Amityville
They do
investigation.
mention that they get a call from New York.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. That's
At the
right.
end.
They do.
Yeah,
Yep.
at the end.
Ah, yeah. Kind of setting up for the. That's interesting. I I I guess we can get into it in The Conjuring too. I just wonder if they ever considered just having Amityville be one of the Conjuring movies, or if that
Yeah,
never
I
crossed their
don't know.
mind. Yeah, I don't know.
I have some trivia to throw out here before we get to our final thoughts on the movie. The original title for this, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this, was The Warren Files before they moved it to The Conjuring. I like that title a lot.
I like that.
The Conjuring sells more tickets, but The
Yes.
Warren Files is a good title.
I'm gonna say I don't think this movie's as big a hit under the Warren Files.
It's not. No. 100%.
I like that title. I don't love it. I don't love The Conjuring as a title either, but I don't love the Warren Files either. I don't know what you. The problem is like this movie on paper is a very generic movie that is elevated by the talent that is
Yeah, for sure.
behind it, you know? And so like it almost needs a generic title so that people go into it just like, oh, it's a haunted house movie, and then they get this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like you're saying,
Interesting.
if you get the script for The Conjuring and you get, let's say, 100 other haunted house movie scripts, they're all going to be quite similar. I mean, they
Yeah.
all have the
Yeah.
same kind of the family goes into a house, somebody gets possessed.
The
They call
religious
things
figure
help
comes and like
them.
helps.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like you said,
Yeah.
it's the way James Wan executes his vision, which makes it so unique. And like we said with that jump scare, nothing like that has ever been seen before.
Mm-hmm.
The Hayes brothers, who wrote this, actually talked to
Not Gary Dauberman.
not Gary Dauberman, the Hayes brothers. They talked to Lorraine Warren on the phone while writing this movie, and they would constantly hear static and other people talking on the phone, and would have calls hang up on them all the time.
That feels like a piece of publicity, but sure.
I don't know. Again, I think there might be a little
There's probably a little bit of truth to that.
truth in it.
Well, who was their cell phone
It probably
carrier?
happened
That's
once.
what I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were on
It
a
was
walkie
Sprint.
talkie.
Yeah, it kept going.
Yeah. And then the last, so kind of going full circle to how we talked about it in the beginning, where this movie isn't necessarily about Christianity and like just like American Catholicism.
Right.
So this movie played in the Philippines, and they would actually bless the cinemas before they would play this movie.
Well, I've been blessing the cinemas for years, so the cinema has been like church for me. I don't know about you guys, but I've been blessing the
Yeah.
cinemas for
Oh, yeah.
years.
100%. Yeah. It's true. It's true. The movie theaters are church. It's, yeah.
The movie theater's a church. The Conjuring is a
White Castle
masterpiece.
looks like a cathedral. Why can't my movie theater?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Exactly. That's what we need. White Castle themed movie theaters
Yes.
with White Castles in them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they only play Harold and Kumar go to White Castle.
And Shrek 3
Sure.
And Shrek 3.
in 3D.
Oh yeah, that one does have a White Castle in
It
it,
does,
doesn't it?
100%. It's so funny.
All right, well, Gary, I'm going to throw it to you. What are your final thoughts on The Conjuring, and how many hand claps are you giving this movie out of 5?
Oh my God, I'm giving it 5 hand claps out of 5. The style of James Wan. I know that Dead Silence wasn't, I guess, perceived when it came out to be the best, but I think this one establishes who he is as a director and as a filmmaker. So I think this is a 5 out of 5 for me.
Sam, what about you?
So, I don't know. I struggled a little bit on this watch. I don't know if it was just like my headspace going into it or what. Like it is an immaculately made movie. I jumped when I needed to. Like I love these scares. It didn't quite hit me like a 5-star movie this time. I would give it a solid 4, maybe 4.5 hand claps out of 5. if anybody hasn't seen this movie at this point that's listening to the show, you should watch it. It's very good. I think
Not only
Patrick
that, it's been
Wilson.
12 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like watch it. It's 12 years and 11 movies into this franchise. You should
Yeah.
have watched the first one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the central performances in this. And one thing we didn't talk about that, it's not really a discussion piece. I love Joseph Bashar's score in these first two movies in particular. They are so good. The like droniness, the way the opening scroll goes over like some kind of like,
and then the title card. Oh, the
title
card,
card.
is so good.
And then the fucking slideshow of the real pictures over the credits, terrifying. Like I love that. So yeah, this movie is a solid classic. And it's one of the better haunted house possession movies out there. So yeah, high recommend from me. Casey, what about you?
Yeah, five out of 5 for me. This is a bona fide horror classic. If there ever was like a perfect scare the shit out of anyone who watches it movie, it might be The Conjuring. It is incredible. Yeah. I think I prefer the Insidious movies to the Conjuring movies, but that's like a personal preference where I just like that universe versus The Conjuring, where I think that is just straight up in your face, I'm going to scare the shit out of you type of movie. And that's what James Wan does with this first one. Warrens are incredible characters. I love this. I love this movie so much. It still wigs me out. And there's not very many horror movies that do it, but James Wan has 2 of them in his filmography that still wig me out every time I watch it.
It's this and Aquaman, right?
It's this and Aquaman. Yeah. Aquaman is terrifying.
Very
Actually, this
scary.
and Furious 7 gets me.
Yeah,
He gets
Furious
you every
7.
time.
Ooh. That's...
Right. Well, let's wrap this up before we jump to The Conjuring 2. We have our first little ad read of the show. Going from complete masterpiece of cinema to a different kind of masterpiece. We've joined the Full Moon Army, and we want you to take advantage of our exclusive offer for listeners to Screens from the Basement. Full Moon features, best known for their Video Isle classic franchises, Puppet Master Subspecies, and the Evil Bong series, is offering 10% off every order on fullmoonhorror.com when you use our discount code SCREAMS at checkout. This goes towards all in-stock items, including Blu-rays, DVDs, replicas, action figures, and so much more. Again, visit fullmoonhorror.com and use promo code SCREAMS at checkout to save 10%. Link in the episode description. All right. You guys ready to talk about The Conjuring 2 Electric Boogaloo?
I am
Conjuring
so
2
ready.
Electric.
Well, let's jump 3 years ahead. 2016, directed by, again, James Wan, written by not Gary Dauberman, Chad and Carrie Hayes, James Wan, and David Leslie Johnson. The film stars...
this movie had 4 screenwriters?
Had 4 screenwriters, it shows.
Okay.
Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga returned to the series as Ed and Lorraine Warren. We are joined by Madison Wolfe, who plays Janet Hodgson, and Frances O'Connor as Peggy Hodgson. Sam, The Conjuring 2, Electric Boogaloo. What is this movie about?
Well, Casey, throw on The Clash song. You know the one. Because the Warrens are back, and they're going across the pond. Another family with a bunch of young children is being haunted by a mean old man who just wants to watch TV in his lazy boy. And a demonic nun is also here for some reason. Will the Christian Crusaders make it out alive? I don't know, but there's a lot of screaming and yelling along the way. The Conjuring 2.
The Conjuring 2, Bill was right.
Bill was right.
He just...
I empathize with a villain who is just sitting in his chair wanting to watch TV, and then some people move into his house. Like, Bill did nothing wrong.
He just wants to watch his shows.
Of his house.
Yeah.
He just wants to watch
control
Wheel
of
of
the
Fortune.
TV remote. Yeah, exactly.
I don't blame him. Yeah.
You're
Would you
old, you're
guys
stuck in
like
your
the
ways. Just
movie-
because you die doesn't... Yeah.
Would you have liked the movie more if Danny DeVito played Bill?
I like any movie more if Danny DeVito's in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my answer too.
With John Travolta, he can play Bill too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get into the negatives right away because I know
No.
Sam, you and I have pretty similar thoughts on the third act of this movie. I know,
Yes. Yeah.
but jumping
yeah.
into this, I've seen like these first two movies we watch quite often in our house, and yeah, I think for the most part, this second one holds up really well almost 10 years later, especially the first two thirds, because it is focused on the same things Wan was focused on in the first Conjuring movie. We're focused on the Warrens and their relationship. We add a new wrinkle to it with their skepticism and people not believing them or the story, which I think is cool.
That's
And
the
then
best part of this movie.
we also have like new characters that Wan introduces. Bill, the old man who just wants to watch TV, the crooked man, which is a terrifying character, and then the nun, which again is kind of the Annabelle of this movie. Would you say? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I would agree with that.
using
yeah.
the best parts and small portions of the nun here.
Yeah, yeah. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. We also open in Amityville, which is cool. You get the iconic shot with the windows, the dual windows. Um, you can't. There was a house that had the Amityville windows in my hometown, and every time I walked past it, it scared the shit out of me. Um, it's just any house with those windows. I just automatically am like, that's an evil house.
You just thought Ryan Reynolds was going to come out with his shirt
Come out
off.
with a shotgun, yeah, shirtless with a shotgun and a beard.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, this Amityville opening, much like the Annabelle opening of the first, I think this Amityville opening is the most effective that the Amityville story has ever been on screen.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't think we spend enough time for me to say that there.
I think it's more unnerving than either of the feature movies. Granted, I haven't seen all of the zillion Amityville movies.
You haven't seen
that have
Amityville
come-
in space?
No, I haven't seen Amityville in space or Amityville through time or whatever the time travel is.
The Avengers versus Amityville.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't seen that one. So but I think that this is the scariest that Amityville's ever been on screen. And even if it's a short time, like I think it's effective. I love Lorraine walking through the house and in the mirrors as she's coming past and in all the glass you see Ronnie DeFeo.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty chilling way to open
The
this
sound
movie
design
and
in this opening
Mhm.
is
It's really
haunting.
good. Yeah. I don't know. I get weirded out about true crime stuff being portrayed for like sensationalist entertainment, for lack of a better term, but I do think that this does it at least somewhat respectfully and and doesn't shy away from like the genuine horror that is the DeFeo murders. I like it. So,
Have you been to the house?
I have not. No. I would love to check out like I don't know. I like going on like haunted tours and stuff. They scare me, but I have not been to the Amityville house. No. Have you?
Casey, have you been? I have.
You have.
Oh, okay.
I've never been. What was your experience like at that? Yeah, that's like one of the two big houses I would want to.
Yeah, that's one of the
Visit.
two most, it's one of the most iconic houses. And with this story is, it's not like a ghost, killed people. Somebody really, Ronnie DeFeo really got up in the middle of the night and really shot his family. That really happened. And yeah, I mean, when I went there, I was shocked of how normal it looks. All the houses look very similar next to it. And when you look at it, it's like, oh, it's just like a normal house. But what was shocking about it also is how incredibly close all the houses are to each other. And it gets you to think, if somebody fired 6 rounds in the middle of the night, how can no one hear it?
It's like one of the big mysteries around
Yeah.
that. Like I know it was apparently like storming that night, but I'm like, I'm sorry, gunshots
on.
are dead. Like they are different than thunder. Like, that does
Yeah.
not explain it. That does not explain it at all.
6 loud rifle shots.
Yeah, like, no, someone should have heard that. It's insane that no one did.
Someone probably heard and said, "Don't worry, just stay out of it. Don't get involved." We didn't hear
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's probably the logical explanation
Yeah.
behind it is human nature.
Did you hear something? Nope. Nope. I didn't hear a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, as the more you talk about it, Sam, the more I'm like, this might be the scariest, at least like recount of the Amityville story. Like, we don't really go into the Lutz family with this too much. It's more so about the Ronnie DeFeo part of Amityville, which is the scariest part because that's
Yeah.
like legitimately what happened and what apparently caused the haunting afterwards.
It's a flashback sequence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like
No.
it's meant to it's meant to. Lorraine sees things that deeply bother her, and she doesn't want to do this anymore. Like, she's in the Ed Warren position from the first one, where she's like, we shouldn't do this anymore. I think you're in danger. Like, we're not equipped to be doing this anymore, type of thing. And of course, after the Amityville thing, you get that opening scroll, the title card.
Yeah.
It's like some of my favorite parts of these movies are like that scroll and title card. And then we'll get to the end credits too, because the end credits of this movie are terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, after this cold open in Amityville, we then go to London. We needle drop London Calling by the Clash.
Yeah, we get the
because
Clash right
God forbid you set a movie in London
In the
and
70s.
don't play that song, which I love. It's a great song, but there are other, like, you could just play another The Clash song. They're from the UK. It would still work. Like, oh my God. But just because they have the one song with London in the name, it's like, oh, we're in London, so we're going to play London Calling. Anyways, I won't harp too much on it. It just drives me nuts. A James Bond movie plays London Calling when they go back to London, and I'm like, we know you're in London. He's a British spy.
It's
Yeah.
James Bond.
Like, it's James Bond.
No, I
Yeah.
I like the needle drops in this movie though. Like, it might be like one
It's
of
on
two
the nose.
one of two Clash songs they would play in this movie, just because it's the ones people would know. But
Yeah, I suppose.
I love the Elvis needle drop towards the end.
Yeah.
Like the Elvis part of Ed's character. Like, I forget it's not in the first movie at all, because
Yeah.
it feels so ingrained in him as a character as the series goes on.
Yeah, for sure. But the whole thing is like him bringing a little bit of Americana into
Yeah.
Britain.
As if these
Yeah.
kids don't know who Elvis
don't
is
know
at
who
this
Elvis
point.
is. Have
You should have seen
kids
the
heard of
Beatles.
Elvis? Yeah.
Yeah. You might not have
Have you
heard of
guys
this
heard of
band. I know they're from your
Beatlemania?
area, but they're called the Beatles. They're kind of a big deal.
Who?
So
Yeah.
the kids though in
Yeah.
this thing, I love the kids in this movie. Specifically the one kid that gets caught not smoking. The one that ends up being haunted.
Janet, yeah.
Janet, yes. She's great. I love this opening scene with her where her friend asks her to hold the cigarette. They get caught. Like, there's just an instant likability to Janet. Jesus. That cat just scared the shit out of me.
Jump scare.
Oh, I
Jump scare.
thought you said there's an instant likability to Jesus.
I mean, there kind of is with him too, yeah.
There is.
Yeah. No, I
yeah.
think that the thing that opening sets up, because her character is really like, she's kind of like the person in the wrong place at the wrong time, but also a troublemaker.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
it's playing that, like, she hangs out with the kids that are smoking cigarettes at 12 years old.
Yeah. Honestly, she reminds me a little bit of me, where I'm like, I wasn't really doing much of the bad stuff, but like, I would hang out with the kids who did just because it made me feel a little alive.
Yeah. And that's definitely her character. And
Yeah.
when we look at Janet in real life versus the movie again, that was kind of the real life person, was probably more so the actual troublemaker, like making a lot of this shit up to tell a funny story, to get people to talk about her. She's like the original like viral star. Like, I'm gonna do something viral and get people to show up at my house and put me on the news and stuff, and then I'm just gonna double down on it.
Yeah, if you put it like that, and if you think about it, she's one of the earliest viral sensations. When it was in the newspaper that she was going through this, then everyone started to bombard her house. They wanted to do interviews with her and book deals, and I think that's how Lorraine Warren and Ed and Lorraine found her. Is they kept on hearing about her.
Yep.
Yeah, and we see it at the end of the movie where they show all these real life photos of her versus the last movie where it's just kind of like family photos of the family.
Yeah.
It's not like the actual haunting pictures. This one has like, here's the things that she said was happening, and we see her like getting thrown out of bed and levitating above the bed and all that stuff. So like, she is like Janet is kind of the original viral,
the original Hawk-Tuah girl.
She's the original Hawk-Tuah girl. Yeah.
If it had just been, like 50 years later, she'd be she'd
be on TikTok.
She'd have a podcast, she'd be on TikTok. She would have a cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would scam people out of her crooked man cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
She'd sell the crooked coin.
Yeah,
the crooked coin.
Yeah, she'd sell that.
Yeah,
and then the crooked NFT. She'd sell all of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she'd have none NFTs all over. All over.
The Warrens would definitely sell none NFTs.
Yeah. There's one thing in this movie that is kind of surprising isn't in the first one again. Kind of like the Elvis thing I said with Ed, is that there's a Ouija board in this one. Just because that's like so ingrained in like horror culture, especially in the 70s. Like, that was a huge thing. Obviously, this takes place after the Exorcist movie had come out, which I think is where Janet got the idea to play with a Ouija board and introduce that into the story. Not saying she was a liar, but she was a liar.
When did the real case happen? 72, 73?
Yeah.
Around there?
So, like, right around when The Exorcist came out.
Right.
Yeah. And I feel like she either read the book The Exorcist or saw the movie and was like, I'm a little girl. I'm a troublemaker. What can I do to have my version of The Exorcist?
What's crazy is like the Enfield poltergeist is one of the most widely written about, talked about, discussed paranormal cases of all time, and it might be one of the less truthful accounts. I don't know. Yeah. Like, it's hard to tell.
I think there is a level of truth to this as well.
There has to be, right? Because where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
It's just that I feel like some people fan the flames a bit more than others.
Yeah, and this little girl was just a shitster.
Yeah.
Like, she just was. I think her and her sister probably experienced something in that house. And she's like, oh, this is cool. How can we keep this going?
Yeah.
Like, probably not afraid at all of what was happening in the house.
No,
I definitely agree. I definitely think something probably did happen, but then, an investigator could have said, what else happened? She could have said, oh, this happened too, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And then at the end of the day, they were like, that really didn't happen. Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah,
I do like that. I do like the movie plays into that a little. Like, we get a scene later on in the movie where they show her, where Janet is destroying the kitchen herself.
Yeah, with the plates.
Yeah, why did you do that? Like, why did you do that?
Yeah, there's a lot of that's the thing that I think
it's the strongest
like the most
part
about
in this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, is the skepticism that it brings in. Like, it's not just Janet we're questioning. Like, the movie is also questioning Ed and Lorraine. Like, maybe not in a way that like genuinely questions them. Like, they are still the heroes of the story. But like, it talks about the media skepticism around them. It talks about like how that affected them and affected their investigations. Um,
It affected their
and I
reputation too.
yeah, like their
Hmm.
reputation. And that's something that continues in like Annabelle Comes Home, where Judy, their daughter, is struggling with the reputation that her parents are frauds. And I love when these movies do more of that stuff. Because it adds a wrinkle to it. Like it's not just, oh, it's Warrens against a ghost. It's Warrens are up against a ghost, and there's also this other secondary problem that they have to deal with now. And I appreciate that. And I think that's, like I said, the strongest point of this movie.
There's one scene we didn't talk about in the first one that kind of ties into this. Is when they go. It just shows. It's just Ed and Lorraine in like someone's attic, and Ed like taps on these pipes, and is like, "This is the sound you're hearing at night." They're like, it's just
Yeah.
an old house, a lot of rusty pipes just making sounds. They debunk something in that movie,
Yep.
so it's not against character in this one where they try to do the same, where they come in with skepticism of this girl. They prove at one point that she is doing some of what's going on here, but they also do believe her and that something is also haunting their family.
Yeah. Like
I think
she's exacerbating it by like, maybe not being completely truthful, but there is something going on that just might not be as
Pronounced.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
pronounced. There we go. Yeah, yeah.
there's a great scene with Janet when the Warrens do show up to the house because things have been going on with the girls. Levitating was the big thing because it's a poltergeist, things moving around the
I
house.
wish I could levitate.
That'd be
Right?
fun. Like I wouldn't be
That'd be cool.
again. That's probably why she probably got levitated for real and just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Like I would.
Do you think
She's
that
like, maybe if I cause a media I was like, maybe if she causes a media shitstorm, then the ghosts will just get mad and keep
Yeah.
letting her float.
the iconic picture of her diving out of the bed? Do you think that's real?
I mean, I think so.
It looks like she's just jumping out of the bed. Honestly, if someone took a picture of her at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Like,
Yeah.
the
It
thing
could be.
is I don't think that photo's doctored. I don't know if, like you said, it could be like an action shot captured in the moment or anything. But like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a skeptic, but I'm a questioner, and so I wonder how much of this is true. Um, I do think that when you get into like, the at the end of the movie where it talks about the mom dying in the chair 30 years or 40 years after Bill Wilkins died in the exact same living room in the exact same chair just peacefully. Like I think that stuff is creepy, and that's like an unexplained, like almost like cyclical, like there's something
A
weird.
weird coincidence that
Yeah.
you can't
Like,
explain.
you can't explain that. There's no explaining something like that happening. And I think anything that you as a human being with a human experience of like what is real and what is not in this world, anything that you can't explain is going to unnatural or naturally be like very scary to you. And so that's the kind of stuff that I think really works with this movie, is like the stuff that's like, okay, well, yeah, like she might have broken the plates in the kitchen, but how did this happen? This
Yeah.
could not have been her.
How did she have the demon voice for so long and her vocal cords were fine afterwards? And
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like because I mean, when you read or listen to the tapes over the end credits, there are demonic voices coming. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Have you listened to other tapes that aren't in the credits though?
No.
yes,
She's
absolutely.
laughing during
Like five
some
of them today.
Oh.
not to ruin the illusion for you because it is creepy, but she
Yeah.
like starts like giggling. It's like like this girl in real life like practiced ventriloquism, could mimic voices. Like she's a shit stirrer for real.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think there is a lot. Like I think I would not be surprised at one point if she had levitated or something levitated in this house, and then she wanted to prove that happening. and she can't just make it happen again for the cameras just because the cameras are there, where she might have been like, well, nothing's happening for real, I need to make sure something happens.
Oh, for sure.
So I do
Like,
think, again, there's a level of truth to it where this like 12-year-old girl maybe just pushed it too far.
yeah. Well, and I mean, think about it though. If you're a 12-year-old and you have a genuine paranormal experience, you know no one's going to believe you.
Yeah.
But if you can get it to happen in front of a camera, in front of adults that might verify your story, then people might believe you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you genuinely want people to know, like, hey, I've been haunted, even if you have to fudge the truth a little bit and fake the haunting, you're gonna do it. Like, as a 12-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, you're not there. I mean, maybe there are some 12-year-olds that would, but like most 12-year-olds are not gonna sit there and be like, oh well, nothing's happening, I guess. Yeah, you're right, I was lying. Like, they're gonna be like, no, it happened, and they're gonna try their best to convince you that it did.
Yeah.
And
That's
so,
what.
yeah, like,
That's the only reason to me why I think Ed and Lorraine Warren would like kind of juice up their books a little bit, because I feel
hmm
like they needed to go to an extreme in order to sell their books more. And they could have
yeah,
Yeah.
said, this happened, but something other happened, just to sell more books. I don't, again, like I said before, I don't think they're lying, but I think they might have said something happened that didn't happen just for either book sales or maybe trying to get people to join their religion. I mean, because like we stated, they were very religious people.
yeah, absolutely, they were.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's their livelihood. That's what they're doing to make a living. Like, I get embellishing a little bit. Um, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's almost on the
The
same
words are
wavelength.
complicated.
It's almost on the
Well, here's
same wavelength as those people that say, "Do you believe in Jesus?" No. Well, then you're going to go to hell. It's kind of like you're not going to go to hell. I mean, if you
Yeah,
believe in that, but there are people that embellish things just to get you to believe something or to join something.
right. Yeah, yeah.
well, here's the benefit of it. We get a benefit as an audience watching a movie of those liberties that were taken. And I mean,
hmm
the filmmakers take tons of liberties in this one, especially. Like, you straight up have the Crooked Man and the Nun, which are not part of this original Enfield Poltergeist story at all.
Yeah,
And they're like, all right, well, we have these cool character ideas. We can fit them in here. Let's put them in here. Like, the Crooked
yeah,
Man is such a cool
yeah.
character. Like, having this
Still
little,
waiting on that spin-off.
that's the spinoff I would rather have had than the Nun. Sorry, like, I like the Nun too, but
Hey,
anyway, I would much rather have a Crooked Man. I think that's a super cool character. But like the carousel of the Crooked Man, and then you see him in real life, and you know that's an actor playing the Crooked Man. It's terrifying. And then also the Nun. The scene with the nun in the Warrens' house it's the scariest scene in this movie, in my opinion.
I agree.
It's the scariest the nun has ever been or ever will be. It just is. Like, that scene is so iconic. I don't know how they could ever top it. They've mimicked it in pretty much all the other times the nun shows up.
Hell, they've mimicked it in movies that don't even have the nun. They do the shadow working its way around the room, and Annabelle comes home with the haunted wedding dress, and I'm like, you
Mm,
can't do that. That's the nun's
it's the
thing.
nun thing.
But no, I think this, and part of it is it's the first time we're seeing the nun. It's the first time we're seeing some of these scare tricks that she uses. But also, I mean, come on, the shot of the painting where all of a sudden the fingers and the hands just come out
Yeah,
from around and
right.
behind it, and then just like she comes at, like, fuck, man, no, 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 no. That,
Well,
like,
how
I
that
w-
scene
I
even
jumped up onto my couch the first time I watched this movie and that happened. I was like,
how the scene starts too, of Judy just like looking down the hall and
and
being
she's
like,
just standing there.
Mom, who's that? It's like, what?
Yeah, it's awful. It's so freaky. Um, yeah, it's one of those scares that just works every time. Like, this is one of the best scares I think in this entire like universe.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the nun is like one of the strongest parts and one of the weakest parts of this movie.
Yeah,
Because
I
that
agree.
scene is so strong, that her introduction, and then the third act where it's just kind of like she's like Lorraine's yelling and just the nun is like loud noises and things are flying, and I don't know. The third act is a bit much for me, but this scene setting up the nun is goddamn terrifying. It's so good.
Also, I think the first time we see Bill Wilkins is scary as shit. It's when, Janet is home from school, she's not feeling well. She's not feeling well.
She
She just
has
wants to stay
COVID.
home and watch TV. Yeah, yeah. And she's watching TV, and like the TV starts going haywire, and when it cuts out, you see an old man in the TV reflection sitting in the recliner behind her. And she turns, and like as she turns, the chair's empty, but the remote falls from midair onto the floor. Like, oh man, the first two acts of this have so many scares like that are
Or
just
when
so
sh-
good.
when she is sitting in the chair talking like
Yes,
Bill.
behind Owen, or not behind Owen Wilson, Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah, yeah, and like you see the shadow of her like growing and morphing into the older guy as her voice gets deeper and more gravelly, and then it starts slowly shrinking back into her as he like like that scene is masterful. I love that scene. Um, it's so good. It's so good. And you've got the crooked man in the tent, like peering, like oh, like this one. I'd argue that the first two acts of this are packed with even more incredible scares than the first one even. I think where this one falters is like you said, the third act, where it kind of throws all of that out the window with Ed.
Quite
Ed
literally.
just needs to do a sit up. That's all he needs to do to save himself at the end of this movie. And Patrick Wilson is playing Orm at this point, so you know what? I know he's got the core strength to do it.
Did you notice, like, when, especially in the Warren's house, where it says Valak everywhere in that house?
Yeah.
Like, I noticed it even more watching it this time, where, like, Valak, like, the name Valak is everywhere in the Warren's house.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Is that the real name?
It's like of the nun.
Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. That's how they defeat her. Is like, oh, you have to know the name, and then Lorraine's
It's like,
like,
why did the nun leave so many clues in their house then?
Yeah, well, and like Lorraine's like, oh, I have to get my Bible because she scratched it into her Bible pages, and I'm just like, that seems like a weird choice to just have like the key to like vanquishing this demon be something you just like scribbled in a Bible earlier in the movie.
Yeah.
Under the influence of the demon, presumably. It's like, okay, movie.
She's like,
sure.
I'm gonna end this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you start to feel like the four screenwriters coming in.
Yeah.
It would have been
It's
funnier
like,
if she just, like, looked at her fridge in the Warren's house and, like, moved her
The,
alphabet,
like, little
the
alphabet
magnetic
letters.
alphabet.
Yeah.
Like, Valak.
She's eating
Shrek.
alphabet soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so this third act is like the Warrens leave because Janet faked the stuff in the kitchen, like she was breaking stuff in the kitchen. Then they come back because they realize, oh, it's connected to Ed almost dying and like her vision in Amityville. It's all this stuff is connected. And so they go back to the house and Ed and Lorraine get separated. And this kind of like where I feel like the movie kind of separates too.
Yeah.
Is like Lorraine gets left out of the house. Ed has to go in to save Janet. And like we get this like really just so much loud noises and wind and like I said, the sound design is so good, especially in the first half where I don't know, it feels like a bit of a different movie in a way, this third act. And I know the nun as a character was added later because it was just going to be like some generic demon, like with horns and kind of what Annabelle looks like when they when it's not the doll, it's just a demon.
Yeah.
But they switched to the nun. I think it is a good choice because the nun is unique and original and cool looking.
And like a desecration of the Warrens' faith, like something that actually challenges their faith and what those like leaders should look like. I do like that idea. I wish they kind of dove into that aspect of it more, but yeah.
It's almost from a different perspective in terms of the first and the second movie. The first one seems to be entirely from the perspective of the Warrens, and the second it seems to be from the perspective of this family plus the Warrens.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would 100% agree with that because in this movie also it's almost an hour before the Warrens are even with our central family, because and I think that because of that, like you said, you get more perspective from the family themselves before you get the Warrens' perspective on the whole thing. I'm just gonna say this: bigger and louder doesn't always equal scarier, and that's fine. Lorraine's line reading of "What's your name?" is giving big Jennifer Love Hewitt, "What are you waiting for?" vibes. And I love it. That's like my favorite part of the third act is, "What's your name?"
Like at that point, she knows the name.
Yeah, like she knows the name. It's so funny. I don't know. It's pretty great.
I do like and I know the third one does this too, where they play on the like impending doom of Ed's gonna die at some point.
Yeah.
I do like that. I have a feeling this next one is gonna pay that off. I could be completely wrong. I don't know.
You think they're gonna kill Ed?
I think they should, because he does die like 20 years earlier than she does in real life.
Yeah, but he doesn't die in an investigation.
He also did perform an exorcism and fight a nun.
Doesn't that seem a little gauche? I don't know.
He doesn't fight a demonic nun in a crooked man doll toy thing.
So you want him to get like a Captain America death where he sacrifices himself to vanquish a demon?
Yeah.
I mean, actually, the real Ed Warren would probably love that. So
yeah.
He's the
I feel like he 100% thought of himself as a spiritual cowboy.
Yeah. That's a great way to describe Ed Warren. Oh my God. A spiritual cowboy.
Just a lot of this third act is loud. It's Lorraine running around in the rain trying to get into the house. And most of her lines, aside from the few that I've talked about, is just her yelling Ed over and over.
Yeah, this definitely feels like reshoots, which I think these all are.
Yeah, it feels like they should have given Lorraine something better to do in this.
Yeah.
And like Ed's whole stuff in the house, it's like, yeah, some of it's good and like there's stuff flying around and it's chaotic, but it's not like, I don't really feel the impending danger in this third act the way I think Wan is intending. It's like one of the very few times that I'm like, I feel like he's not quite getting what he's going for,
I feel like also just saying her name to get her to go away is not that fulfilling of an ending. I feel like
it's kind of like a Deus Ex Machina type of thing.
Yeah, there should have been more. It could have been part of it, but there should have been a longer ending.
Yeah, like don't they have to salt something and burn the ashes? I don't know, like
or you include Janet in this ending and like maybe she's like a nun, because they do say that the family is not part of the church. They're not.
Yep.
And that's the reason why they can't perform or like the Catholic Church won't come out to perform an exorcism on the house and the girls because they're not part of the church. You introduce that into the final act where Janet I don't know, like confesses or something. I don't know, something.
Yeah.
They say the name, but it has no effect because these people don't believe in it anyway. And
exactly. And then she says the name and believes in it or something. And then you defeat the nun. I don't know. There's a better version of this ending. But the actual ending of the movie, I think, is really good because, again, we focus on the Warrens and them as characters. Also, it's a Christmas movie. We haven't talked about that yet.
Yes.
The Conjuring 2 is a Christmas movie, technically.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it ends with them. What
With
they're
Christmas.
yeah, they're dancing on Christmas to Elvis, right?
Yep. Yep. It's
It goes
it's a good ending. It's very
It's charming.
schmaltzy ending. Yeah. Like
it
it's
goes great with Home
I
Alone
think their
too.
relationship is schmaltzy though.
Oh yeah, the whole Ed and Lorraine dynamic is schmaltzy. Annabelle Comes Home has a schmaltzy ending, and I
Yeah,
love that cheesy ass movie. Like it's so Lifetime in the final reel of Annabelle Comes Home. It's just like, oh, we're making a Lifetime movie now, but I love it.
doesn't that one have an Elvis song too?
Yes, it
Yeah,
'Cause
100%
it
I'm pretty
does.
sure
does.
Conjuring 3 does too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
All right. Well, I have a couple pieces of trivia to throw out here before we get to our final thoughts on The Conjuring 2. So James Wan actually turned down Fate of the Furious, the eighth film in the Fast and the Furious series. He did this. He did Furious 7 before that. He turned it down to do this movie.
I think that's a good choice.
Yeah. I wish he
Like,
I
would have
think so.
continued with the Conjuring series. I think
yeah.
we lose a little something when Wan leaves this.
Oh, I agree 100%.
We
And then
lose heartbeat of the franchise when Juan leaves.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's still like off and on fairly hands-on as a producer, but I don't think he's nearly as I mean, obviously not nearly as hands-on as he was with these first two. And I think all of the movies since have shown that. I like them all to varying degrees, but they aren't these two movies, you know?
Yeah. And then as far as the real life case goes, the Warrens only spent a day in England during this.
Really?
Yeah, and Ed was quoted as saying, "Hey, there's a lot of money we can make off this."
I mean,
But who heard that and wrote it down?
It was the researchers. They do have the researchers in this, the English researchers.
yeah. Um, yeah, I was about to say if it was a Franca Potente's character, she was a skeptic anyway. She was out to get him, so you
Yeah.
can't trust anything she writes.
There's one scene I do like in this that we
Yeah.
haven't talked about. I want to throw out quick, and I'll get to my final thoughts right after. It is the scene where the cops witness the chair sliding.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Like I feel like whenever I hear, I know like you can't always trust anyone, no matter what their profession is, let alone a cop who might make up a story. But like a paranormal, like why would a cop make up a paranormal story? So whenever I hear cases of police officers convinced and having seen the paranormal, I tend to believe that a lot more because
yeah,
like why would they put that in their report if it didn't happen? It wouldn't make any
yeah.
sense.
Because that's a good way of getting like blacklisted
Yeah,
on the force. Like,
yeah. This guy's a loon. He's talking about seeing ghosts while on the case.
right?
So I
I
do like
definitely,
how they introduced that here.
I definitely think there's more truth probably in the first film than the second one
Yeah.
Yes.
in terms of paranormal content, for sure.
Yeah. But final thoughts on this one for me out of 5. I give this a 3.5 out of 5. It kind of lingers between that 3.5 to 4. Um, that third act is really the one that I just don't vibe with as much upon rewatches, but those first 2/3 are so good. They're right on par with that first movie. I think they expand more on Ed and Lorraine's relationship. They introduce the Elvis part, which I feel like is such a big part of Ed's character. And I do like that they bring up the skepticism and like the disbelief in the Warrens. So there's so many interesting elements in this. But my biggest takeaway is where the hell is that Crooked Man movie? That's what I want.
Yeah.
Gary, what about you? What are you giving this out of 5? And what are your final thoughts on The Conjuring 2?
I'd say 3 to 3.5 claps too, which would be 7 hands, I think.
Yeah.
7 hands. It's great. I mean, it's not as great as the first one, but I would still say it's really, really good. I would definitely say see it.
Yeah. Agreed. I really like this one, especially in the first two acts. Um, I think that some of these scares are just incredible. I think some of them are even better than the scares in the first movie. I just think the movie as a whole kind of suffers from the fact that there were probably too many cooks in the kitchen with 4 screenwriters, and I'm sure more producers probably got involved because of the success of the first one, and you can just kind of feel that. It's something that plagues a lot of sequels. I think what James Wan was able to make with this script is incredible for what it is. And it's sitting at a solid like 3.5 out of 5 for me. It's a good movie. It's just not quite a great one. But it's still a solid recommend for me. If anything, just to hear a really good The Clash song that you've heard a million times.
Or Patrick Wilson singing Elvis.
Yeah, or Patrick Wilson singing Elvis.
I feel like every movie Patrick Wilson is in, he needs to sing a song during it.
He has to.
Yeah.
He does it. He does it in this.
Song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah,
he does a song in the credits of Insidious 5. So like he's got a voice. Yeah.
That's what Aquaman was missing, was a Patrick Wilson musical
Wilson
number.
tune. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, that is our Conjuring 1 and 2 double feature. I think all of us, I would say, are excited for this last, quote unquote, last Conjuring movie, seeing where the series kind of maybe wraps things up. I think this, okay, so there's 3 Conjuring movies, 3 Annabelles, 2 Nuns, Curse of La Llorona, and then this one. So there'll be 10 movies in total by the end of this. I think that's a good number. I think that's a good number to end on. And maybe if they do 11, I'll take a Crooked Man movie, but beggars can't be choosers.
I'll also take a werewolf movie, because let's not forget that they teased a werewolf in Annabelle Comes Home.
Okay, maybe that's the last question I'm going to leave all of us on. Because the Warrens have done hundreds of cases. Like, what's a case that you know of that you want to see? Because I'm with you, Sam. Like, Werewolf of London is the Conjuring Warren case I want to see, because it's so weird and so different. Like, I would love to see them in not a haunting movie. It's just they're fighting a werewolf.
Yeah. That's the one I'd want to see the most. I'd say if we were going off of like pure movie spin-offs, the ferryman from Annabelle Comes Home with the coins in his eyes, like that guy's terrifying. I'd love to see that. But yeah, the werewolf case is the one that I've always been like, God, they should really make a movie. Like, just the investigation of like trying to prove whether or not someone's a werewolf is fascinating in and of itself. Plus, you could do a totally balls out actual werewolf third act, and no one would care because it's a Hollywood movie.
Right, exactly. For me, Amityville. I heard Lorraine talk about her experience in Amityville, and she said it's the first time that her body levitated off the ground when she went into the house.
Ooh. Okay.
I didn't see anything.
Creepy.
I wasn't there, but that's what she said.
That's awesome. Yeah. I would love an Amityville movie from the perspective of the Warrens.
Mm-hmm.
It would be
even if you just do an Amityville movie and then the Warrens show up in the third act or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to tie it into the universe.
They should just do a 5th Conjuring movie.
Yeah, why not? All right, keep them coming. Never mind. This isn't going to be the last one. We want more. So, all right. Yeah. Well, Gary,
the final chapter never is, right?
It never is. The last rites are never our last rites. But tonight we're going to give our last rites here. Gary, thank you so much for coming on and chatting the first 2 Conjuring movies with us. This was so much fun.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a blast.
Yeah. So where can people find you online and find some of your work as well?
Instagram.com/Gary Miceli. You could find me there. IMDb, you could find me there. And that's it. I'm not under your bed or in your closet. I'm just on those 2.
Amazing. Well, Gary, thanks for chatting with us on Screams, especially about these 2 awesome movies, and thanks for talking a little bit of like paranormal stuff with us too. We like when we get to talk about like
the real life stuff,
supernatural real life stuff. So yeah, it's always a treat. We'd like to thank Gary Miceli once again for being on the podcast and talking The Conjuring 1 and 2 with us. Now it's time for an ad break from our sponsors at Fangoria. Fangoria for over 40 years has been the leading source in horror for all things spooky, horrific, and macabre. The famed magazine is back with a vengeance each quarter with brand new issues of Fangoria magazine featuring interviews, retrospectives, and insight into the world of horror. We have an exclusive offer for our listeners to save 20% off their subscription to the magazine, the latest Fango merch, and so much more. You can visit shop.fangoria.com/screamsfromthebasement or use the the QR code down below and use Screams from the Basement promo code at checkout to save 20% off your order. Thanks to Fangoria for helping out with the show. All right, Casey.
Yeah.
What have you been doobie doing?
All right, so I have quite a bit of doobie doing. So I'll start off with this because I'm just going to piggyback off our Conjuring conversation.
Okay.
I've been making my way through all of these movies. Full disclosure, I watched The Conjuring 1 and 2 like a month and a half ago.
Yes, I saw that on your letterbox.
Yeah, I did not rewatch it again after that because we are making our way through all these, and I had seen both of those movies
so many times, yeah.
Probably 10 times each almost.
Yeah.
But I made my way through. We watched The Conjuring 3. The Devil Made Me Do It. The only time I had ever seen that movie was when it first came out during COVID, and it was on HBO Max. Yep. I was maybe inebriated when watching it, and I remembered nothing. And now I remember.
Pretty forgettable.
And now I remember why I remember nothing, because I watched this movie, goddamn stone cold sober, and still can't remember anything. And I watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
it's not very good. It's just not a very good movie. But I watched. We watched the first and second Nun. The first Nun, I like the vibes. It has really cool vibes, really cool setting, set in Romania. Good stuff there. The story just doesn't do a whole lot for me, or really the characters. But the Nun 2, first time rewatching that since we saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
Certified banger. Like the second Nun is a certified banger. So much fun. The closest I can compare it to is Annabelle Comes Home.
Yeah,
like,
it's a total popcorn movie.
Popcorn movie, having a ton of fun. Awesome setting with the all girls, like Catholic school.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff. Yeah, that movie rules. We watched like the first half of. I watched the first half of the Nun of Annabelle. Like when we watched the first two Conjuring movies a while back. I fell asleep during it. It's not a good one. I might revisit it before this new Conjuring movie just to say I completed it. But yeah, we would rewatch Annabelle Creation though from David F. Sandberg. I love this one. I think this one's a good one. This one's fantastic. I love the setting where it's like set in this rural farm with with these orphan girls. One of them has polio.
So mean.
She goes through the entire ringer. She's the one that gets possessed, like by Annabelle. It's a mean-spirited movie. It really is. But it's a ton of fun. It's also a ton of fun. I think it's a really good. It's when I wrote my Letterboxd review. When you want to make a prequel to a much weaker original film, you just hire Lulu Wilson as the lead child, because between Ouija Origin of Evil and Annabelle Creation, those are miles better than the first movies in those series.
Absolutely.
So I have the Annabelle Comes Home and the Curse of La Llorona to watch yet before the new Conjuring. So I'll probably talk about those next time.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about Weapons yet.
We have not talked about Weapons yet.
Because I know you watched it. Here's the thing. We can't say anything about it, though.
Yeah, not really. I gave a very... It's spoiler-free review on Patreon, if you want to know my big thoughts on it. I think it's safe to say both of us fucking loved Weapons.
Yeah.
Without going into spoilers, it's a solid fucking... It's a crowd pleaser about really dark subject matter. It's like... like the crowds are eating it up. Like, it is a crowd pleaser.
So there's two movies that came out this year. They're my 1 and 2. I don't know which one's which yet. I rewatched Sinners as well. So I watched
is a
Weapons and
fucking
Sinners
banger.
within the last couple weeks. And both of those movies, I cannot stop thinking about them. They're both my number 1 and 2 favorite movies of the year. Also, both are making gonzo money at the box office.
Yep.
And they're both original ideas.
Yep. It's
Horror
fantastic.
is alive and well, baby. So, yeah, go watch Weapons if you haven't yet. It will be playing at the Coyote Twin. What?
Starting tomorrow. Or wait, today. Because we're
as
dropping
this comes
it on
out,
Friday. Yeah.
So, if you haven't watched it yet, still in theaters, playing at the Coyote Twin.
Yeah. Come see it. I'm gonna see it again since it's
Yeah.
literally right down the street from me. I'm so excited. Yeah. Yeah. Weapons rules. Go see it.
Yeah. Go see it and then have a conversation. I think that's the big thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Another new release from this year I watched. Did you watch this yet? It is the Sweet Revenge Jason universe.
This is the Jason one. No, I was looking at your doobie doing, going, Sweet Revenge. What is that?
What the hell is that?
I just have no. I will watch it. I just have no desire to.
I mean, here's the thing. I was very critical of this, of an Angry Orchard sponsored vignette for Friday the 13th. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's very well made. Like, if you would have told me that this is just a Friday the 13th fan film that's 13 minutes long or whatever, I would have believed you. And a really good one at that. The kills are really good. The gore is good. The biggest problem is Jason, who looks like a scrawny, like he has no muscle mass to him. He's just super scrawny. And the mask looks gigantic on him. Not the right person to have as Jason Voorhees, in my opinion. But I do think it's a right step in terms of if this is the tone we're going for the Jason universe, whatever the hell that's going to be. It's the right tone.
Here's the thing. We've had only fan films for the last decade in this franchise. I don't need another fucking... Like, that's what this feels like to me. I'm like, I don't need another fucking fan film. I get that it was like a professional production and blah, 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 and it was sponsored by Angry Orchard. Nah, I'm just not having it. I don't know. It drives me nuts. Just give me an actual movie.
That's the thing. Yeah. There's enough plot in this short film to be an actual movie. Is scary too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just make a goddamn Friday the 13th movie.
Mm-hmm.
Even though no one can because the rights are all fucked up. Anyway.
Yeah. Greedy fuckers.
And I think the rest are pretty much all crossovers that we have here. So I'll jump to one that is not a crossover. I watched this movie called Bloodthirsty from, I believe, 1998, 1999.
Well, okay, not the Bloodthirsty that came out a few years ago.
No.
Gotcha.
No. This came inside this box of horrors, a mega movie 4-pack. that I got at Last Stop, and boy oh boy, like what a weird collection. These are all movies from like 98, 99, 2000, right in that area. Paid $3 for this 4-pack of DVDs.
Hell yeah.
I was like, all right, like whatever, it's $3. I've never heard of any of these movies in here. Bloodthirsty was the first one in it. It also has Colobos as another movie in here, Highway Hitcher, which I think has the most letterboxed views on it, and Dead Waters. Highway Hitcher, if I'm remembering right, has like a decent cast, like William Forsythe is in it, and yeah. Anyway, Bloodthirsty had less than 100 letterboxed reviews, so I was like, I have to watch this. Like if like 80 some people have logged this on Letterboxd, like
only person that I follow who has watched this.
Yeah. I'm one of 80 people.
There are 8 reviews.
Yeah.
Like of
and
80
one of
people to watch it, there are only 8 reviews and you're one of them.
Yeah. Wild. So this is a straight to video movie from the 90s that is about this woman this woman invites a new roommate to come live with her. But one of the things she has with her roommates is she needs to drink their blood. It's kind of a fetish for her. She's not a vampire necessarily. She's just addicted to drinking blood, specifically from her roommate. And so the roommate says, All right, let's try it. Let's experiment with it. They do form a pseudo-sexual lesbian relationship with this. So it is technically a lesbian vampire story. Sam, right up your alley.
Okay.
But it is
I love that.
a straight-to-video 90s movie. There's not a whole lot going on. It's a little over 90 minutes.
Over 90 minutes?
A little over. It's like 92 minutes or something.
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
But there's like 70 minutes of actual, like, this could have been a 70-minute movie.
Yeah.
So there's like not a whole lot going on between like pretty gratuitous sex scenes in this straight-to-video movie until the end, where it like starts introducing themes of like addiction and depression. One of the characters starts cutting herself, like,
Okay.
under her depression. So it's like dealing with heavy themes that I think in a better movie would work, especially like a vampire movie.
Yeah.
Like a vampire movie where one of your characters is suffering depression and cutting themselves is an interesting idea. Probably don't do it in a straight to video like
titty movie. Yeah.
With 3 characters in it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not the movie for it. I would recommend it though. Like, again, less than 100 people have watched this movie. I'm going to recommend people watch Bloodthirsty. I don't think it's streaming anywhere. There's probably a cut of it on YouTube, maybe. I don't know.
Probably.
I have no idea. So, if you can find Bloodthirsty from, I believe, 98, 99, check it out.
Cool.
We watched Corpse Bride and Coraline for my wife's Kayla's birthday party. 2 of her favorite movies ever.
Great double feature too. Like they pair really well
Yeah.
together, thematically and just style wise. Yeah.
I love Corpse Bride, one of my favorite Tim Burton's.
It had been so long since I'd actually sat down and watched it. And this one is so good. I always think of this one as like really dark and monotone, but it's because like I used to watch this before bed and I'd fall asleep before we really got into the Land of the Dead stuff.
Yeah.
Because when you get into the Land of the Dead, it's a vibrant, bright, colorful movie, and I love that. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Coraline, I don't... There's something that doesn't connect with me in this movie, and I cannot figure it out.
Yeah. I
don't
rated
know.
both of these the same. I like both of them about on a similar level. They're both solid 4 out of 5s for me. I like Coraline a lot. Fuck Neil Gaiman forever, but I like Coraline. He's not getting any money from the copy I already own of this movie, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really, it was a fun night. It was really fun. We got a little, I don't know, inebriated. Did live action casting.
Yeah, we live action cast Corpse Bride like the entire time. I think we had some good ones.
Yeah, it was good. I still want to see the Muppet style Corpse Bride where every character is Jennifer Coolidge except for Victor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then last but certainly not least, we were
Certainly not.
We were at the Greg Sestero double feature at the Sioux Falls State Theater for a screening of the always fantastic time, The Room, from director Tommy Wiseau, cinematic auteur Tommy Wiseau. We followed that up with Dude Bro Party Massacre 3, which we hosted and did a little Q&A with Greg Sestero afterwards. This is easily the most fun I've ever had watching The Room.
Oh, yeah,
Period.
100%. It was so fun.
I think I've seen this is probably like the 5th time I've watched the movie. I think it's the 3rd time at the State that I've seen it.
Yeah,
and
it's only the second time I saw it at the State, but like this was such a great screening.
It was so much fun. Shout out to the guy who made the Jordan Peele's Get Out reference. Like that was the killer. That was the killer line.
Yep.
I kept yelling like cancer jokes at the the mom. I think I was getting some groans from the people who had never seen it before.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
It was fun. It was really fun. And there were a lot of newbies at this one.
I would say
it was kind
like
of fun to almost half.
I would say like at least a third of the audience had never seen The Room.
Yeah, like
So
when he asked who was the first time, a lot of hands went up. I was it was Maria's first time seeing it. Um, she was really put off by the finale, by the, the suicide at the end of the
and us
movie.
cheering it on.
I mean, it's it's unnerving,
God
but it's
forgive
also
me.
like, oh God, it's such a weird movie.
Yeah.
I love watching it.
I
It's
was
the only way to watch it is at the theater with a crowd like
yeah.
that. So
I was looking up like Red Letter Media talked about The Room, and like all they do is watch bad movies. And so they kind of rarely talk
mhm.
about The Room because The Room is like the definitive bad movie. But I saw them do a bit, I think it was like a commentary on it. But they talked about like how The Room became a thing, because The Room, it's a melodrama. It's not a comedy, it's not a horror movie, it's not a sci-fi movie, it's not a little monster movie. It's a straight up like like character melodrama.
Yeah, but
And
it's
like
just
none of
done
those
so
type of movies
poorly.
ever get cult references. And there are
Yeah,
plenty of movies just as bad as The Room in that genre. We've seen them.
but they don't have Tommy
But
Wiseau front and center.
they don't have Tommy Wiseau. That is the one. He is the X factor that makes The Room The Room. Because everything
Yep,
else you've seen in anything else that you've watched, any bad movie you've watched before, but you've never seen Tommy Wiseau.
yep, yep. 100%. Like Tommy Wiseau is the character of that movie.
Yeah,
Like it's yeah. Um, Casey, we also
yeah,
like following it up with Dude Bro Party Massacre 3.
yeah,
This was a first time watch for you. I had watched it in the week in prep for it. And I Casey, I love this movie.
I saw it's
it
in
was
your
like
letterbox
it's in my
four now.
top four now. It's up there with Evil Ed as one of my favorite late nights we've ever hosted. I gave this 5 stars. I bought it on Blu-ray. Like I
Did you buy two
loved
copies of it on Blu-ray?
I did because I bought one copy, but then I found out there was like a special edition one with even more special features, and I'm like, oh, I want that one. So yeah, um, I loved this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I think Greg Sestero is the funniest part of it. Like I think his performance is
Yeah,
so
everyone in
goddamn
this movie is
hilarious.
at an 11
Yeah,
except him.
yeah, and like it's perfect though because he's like the affable nice guy in this fraternity of just douchey
Douchebags.
bros.
Yeah.
Like his whole like, I'm Derek, I'm the nicest guy in this frat, and someone goes, "Fuck you, Derek," off screen, and he goes, "Good one, Brad." Like there's a shot where he's just like in the background and it's like it's only him from the waist down, but he's in the background of two characters kneeling over something on the floor and they're just talking and midway through them talking he just obnoxiously scratches his balls. It's the
Yeah.
funniest like uh and just the kills are amazing. It goes batshit in the final moments, like ridiculous. I don't know. This
You'll
movie is
never look at
wild.
a bag of oranges the same again.
No, you never will. And yeah, so if you were not at that amazing late night screening, I implore you to check out Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. It's so goddamn funny.
Yeah. And
And
apparently Greg says to pair it with Psycho as a double
yes,
feature. So that's
it's
the
true.
double feature you should
That's
watch
the
with
double
Dude Bro Party
feature.
Massacre 3.
Oh my god, yeah.
But that's it. That's it for me, right? That's all I have
Yeah,
in
I
Doobie
believe
Doing.
so.
Sam, what about you?
Okay, so we did okay. I went to the theater,
Theater.
the live theater, and yeah, I went and saw the musical, which is an unauthorized parody of the movie Saw. This was it was something I'd never even heard of. Um, but it's hilarious. It is a very queer musical that takes it takes the plot of Saw, but it turns it into a love story between Dr. Lawrence and Adam. And it's a three-person production. One person plays Jigsaw, like one person plays Jigsaw and a few other characters. They all play multiple characters, all three of these. The songs are actually really catchy and really good. The official YouTube channel has certain live performances of certain songs. And like honestly, the best way to do it is just to go see it live because like it's kind of audience interactive. In the blurb for it, it compared it to Rocky Horror, and I kind of agree with that because it's very queer, it's very flamboyant, and it's also like there are multiple times where like the actors were actually just like interacting with the audience in really fun and inventive and off the cuff ways, and I was just like, this is amazing. Um, it's unfortunately not at the pavilion right now, like if you're listening to this, but it apparently this was the second year that it's been here,
Mhm.
so it probably will be back. And if it comes back, or if you just see it in a theater anywhere around here, go like get tickets and go to it. It's so much fun. I like Maria and I had smiles on our faces the whole time. There's a group of prudish old ladies behind us that were definitely like season ticket holders at the pavilion, and they left at intermission and did not come back. But like everybody that stayed for the whole
This
thing,
is
like
nothing like the movie.
people that stayed, like the conversations you were hearing coming out of that theater and leaving, like people were just loudly talking, laughing, quoting, singing their favorite hooks from the movie. Like it was great. It was fantastic. Saw the musical's amazing, and everybody should check it out if they get the chance. Um, I watched Clown in a Cornfield because it finally got put on Shutter.
Oh yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I watched Creature Commandos. That's all I have to say about it. Like it was fine.
Yeah. There's
It
not
was,
much to say about it.
it's not bad. It's not particularly good. It's just kind of there, and that's fine. I'm sure that there are teenagers that will watch that movie that like that'll be like one of their slashers that they grew up with,
Yeah.
and that's
It'll be
cool.
there, stay alive.
Yes, exactly, exactly. um, but I watched Creature Commandos, which is an animated series on HBO Max. It's actually what James Gunn kickstarted his DCU with. I also watched Superman. That's not a horror movie. Not going to talk about it. But that's what prompted me to go back and watch Creature Commandos. If you're a horror nerd, if you're a comic book nerd, if you like monster movies and you like really tragic monster stories, watch Creature Commandos. It almost acts like there's an overarching thing where like these creatures are going on a mission. It's very much like Suicide Squad, but with monsters instead of like supervillains. But it's almost like an anthology because each episode flashes back to each monster's origin. The Weasel, who we met in the Suicide Squad, is in this. You will never look at Weasel the same way again. I am not kidding when I say the Weasel episode of this made me bawl. I'm not talking like, oh, I teared up and like I was sobbing at the end of this episode. It was devastating. It's like James Gunn took what he did with Rocket in Guardians Volume 3 and cranked it up to 11. And I'm like, why would you hurt me further than you did in Guardians 3? Like, it gutted me, dude. Creature Commandos is fantastic. I loved it. If you're a monster movie person, fucking watch it. And the animation is amazing. The soundtrack is great. Like, Creature Commandos was a fucking banger. I watched the original Alien again because the last thing I'll talk about is also Alien related. That original Alien movie is a masterpiece. I bumped it up to 5 stars on this watch. I watched it on VHS, which I think helped. I love it on VHS. Like, it's just a vibe. Sigourney Weaver's so fucking good. Like, the whole cast is amazing. The xenomorph design is so cool. Like, it's a perfect movie. I love it. And that brings me to the TV event that I've been covering on Patreon. I will have episode 4's review out by the time this drops. Alien Earth. And since I'm covering it extensively on Patreon, I will not say much here. All I will say is that this is a very different type of thing that we've seen in the Alien universe. It's still got all the things you love about Alien, but it's got kind of a Blade Runner vibe to it too. There's a bunch of different flavors that get thrown into this, and it's one of the best sci-fi television series I have ever watched. It's so good. It's so thought-provoking. Every episode just keeps going deeper into these like kind of existential questions about what it is to be human and what it is to be machine. And I love it. I have no idea where it's going. It's fantastic. And it's a total like, I hope it goes literal with this, but it's definitely an eat the rich kind of narrative. And so I'm just excited. We're, I believe, halfway through the season now at episode 4. If you're not watching it, fucking watch it. It's coming out weekly on Hulu/FX every Tuesday night at 7. Alien Earth. Highly recommend. Check out our Patreon to see ongoing coverage, recaps of each episode, and my thoughts on it every week. So, yeah. That's what I've been doing.
That's it. That's it. That means
Yeah.
we've done the show.
We've done the show.
We've done the
good.
show.
Ah,
Sam, we do have a couple of things to announce here before we get to our usual plugs.
we do, yeah.
Actually, I think we kind of have 3 announcements to make here.
Okay.
First things
I know
first.
At least 2 of them.
Okay, first things first. We have a website now.
We have a website. Okay, that's the one I was missing.
Yeah. We have a website now, screensfromthebasement.com. You can go check out our brand new website. All of our episodes will be up there. You can also find links to any of our events coming up on there as well. Go show us some love on screamsfromthebasement.com. It's we're only in like our first week of that being a thing, so more to come on that.
More to
we
come.
might end up doing some written reviews and stuff on there. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Also, we have to say that passes are now available for the Vortex Film Festival in Vermilion,
Yes.
South Dakota, the weekend of September 26th through the 28th. Passes are available to come watch some awesome local films, short films, feature films, documentaries, student films, all of the above out there.
And we've got some great not panels, workshops
Yes.
this year from local people who have very different areas of expertise
We have
in the world of filmmaking.
an acting workshop, a makeup workshop, a screenwriting workshop. So tons of great stuff to hang out the whole weekend in Vermilion with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Sam, what's our big announcement that we just announced today as we're recording this?
Yeah, we just announced this today as we're recording. Screams from the Basement is going live in October. We're doing a live show Thursday, October 16th at Full Circle Book Co-op. It'll start at 7 p.m. and tickets are live now. For is it $10?
$10.
$10.
$8 plus fee, but $10.
$8 plus the fee, so $10 total.
$10.
For $10 total, you buy a ticket. This is the only time you are ever going to see any of the shenanigans that are going to be at this live show is if you are there physically in person. We're not recording this. We're not going to be posting it anywhere. And we have a really fun plan with some friends of the show, couple surprise guests. And we're really excited to do this. There's going to be some crowd interaction stuff. And it's just going to be a good time. It's at Full Circle Book Co-op in Sioux Falls. They were awesome. They've been awesome to work with as far as like getting this booked and hosting the event. We're really excited to be working with them as just a really cool space in downtown Sioux Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Please come and hang out with us and talk horror movies because I guarantee you it will be a great time. And it's the only time you're going to experience what that show is.
Exactly.
If it goes well, we'll do more. So
we'll absolutely do more. But we thought now is finally the time to do a live show here in Sioux Falls. What better time to do it than Halloween season?
Yeah. And so get spooky with us on October 16th at Full Circle Book Co-op.
Sam, where can they find us online?
Well, if you like this podcast and you want more, you never want to miss an episode, subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube if you like that video component. Make sure you're liking, commenting. Do that stuff that, like, A, just because we like talking to you and interacting with you, but B, it helps us talk and interact with even more people when you're interacting with it.
It helps us get to do more cool things like film festivals and screenings, the live show, conventions, all of that stuff. All of that stuff goes into you hitting that little thumbs up guy. Goes a long way.
Yep. And you can also follow us on all of our socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok. Comment on our posts. Like it. Argue with us in the comments. Respectfully, of course.
We'll argue back.
We'll argue back. We're good at that.
Or be the guy on TikTok that just comments bros being bros.
Yeah. Or be the guy that... Yeah. Don't be the guy that's a homophobe.
Yeah, don't do that. Then we'll really come at you.
Then we're actually going to come at you. And we have had to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Be cool in the comments, but be active.
Yeah.
All right, Casey, if they want to support the show, what are some options for them to do so?
We have a couple ways to do so. One, buy a ticket to our live show October 16th at Full Circle Book Co-op. Buy a ticket. The link will be in the episode description of this as well, so you can find it there. Or you can head over to our Patreon, get exclusive content on our Patreon, including Sam's weekly reviews of Alien Earth, bonus episodes, my collection vlogs, monthly newsletters, exclusive artwork. It's so much stuff out there for as little as $5 or even $1 a month just to help out the show. We do appreciate that. Or you can buy some brand new Screens from the Basement merch on our TeePublic store. Just go to teepublic.com/Screens from the Basement. Again, links in the episode description. Sam, if people are watching the video version, show off that new shirt that we got up on our store. Yeah.
Friend.
Yeah.
If he says he's got beef, that I'm a vegetarian and I ain't fucking scared of him.
Be a punk bitch and get our brand new Screams from the Basement 303 inspired t-shirt. 303. Yeah. I have not even ordered one myself, and I love that design, so I need to get
Casey,
on that.
you killed it with this design. This is fantastic. It's my new favorite
Literally
shirt.
came to me as I was listening to like Starstruck or something like that, where I'm like, we could do a version of that with zombie hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, go check it out. It's awesome. It's good stuff. I think that's it. I think that's the show.
That's the show. Oh my gosh, everybody. Thanks for tuning into our Conjuring episode that has now gone almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning into this bladderbuster and sweet screams.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal: providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.